are the Mystery History Podcast. I am Allison.
I'm Jordan.
And we are doing episode 2 today, which is Cursed Movies. So before we get into the Cursed Movies, we wanted to give some shout-outs. Alex shared our post on Instagram, and Amanda shared our post on Facebook. So thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. Jordy appreciates it.
We appreciate it.
We have the platforms that we are on. You can shoot us an email at mysteryhistorypod@gmail.com. We're also available on Facebook and Instagram at Mystery History Podcast, and on Twitter at Mystery Histories. We're available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and we will soon be available on Google Podcasts.
Also on Stitcher and Podbean.
Yes.
Also.
Yes. So it's just some info. After our first episode, we've had 46 listeners over the last week, and one of them was from Poland.
International stuff.
International. We're famous. It's pretty crazy. So, do you got anything else to add to the...
I don't think so.
No?
Just going to try the video thing out, see how that works.
Yeah, we don't know how that's
this could be
gonna
very
work.
different in the future.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be looking at the computer instead of the camera.
This is a week-by-week basis,
yeah.
how this is going to go, but we'll see.
So we appreciate everybody who's listened. Please like, share, subscribe, write a review. It really helps.
Yeah, reviews and give us 5 stars if you think we deserve it.
Yeah, if you don't want to give us 5 stars, then don't review us.
Yeah.
Just okay. So you want to get into the cursed movies or films that we've researched. So we've done. There's a lot of them. I've got like 10 pages of notes.
Yeah, there's a ton. There's a lot more than I thought there would be.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I didn't know some of these. Some of them are obvious, but other ones I didn't know, or I didn't know the extent of them. So it's pretty exciting.
Yep.
So the first one that we researched was The Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
This one didn't seem to be as much cursed as it was just
Bad luck.
poor. They didn't know what they were doing.
No.
They
Well, I guess in 1939.
Yeah, they just
really
kind of
knows?
threw people into the fire and
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was filmed in 1939, or released in 1939, I mean. Judy Garland played Dorothy. After filming, her personal life kind of took a turn for the worse, and she had 4 divorces, several insecurities, financial instability, she had a drug addiction, and she actually passed away from a drug overdose whenever she was 47.
I didn't see that in my notes. That's crazy.
So the other one I have is Frank Morgan, who played the Wizard. He was involved in a car accident 4 months after they got done shooting the movie.
Oh, wow.
He was left unharmed, but his wife Alma suffered from a really bad knee injury, and she dealt with it for the rest of her life. Morgan then passed away in 1949, and he actually never watched the film. He never watched Wizard of Oz.
I've actually never seen it either.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. It's been a long time since I watched it the whole way through.
Right.
And it was on TV. It wasn't a movie. Because I don't own the movie.
Right.
But I don't think Evie's ever seen it either.
No.
You got anything? I got a few more.
Yeah, I got the Tin Man was almost killed by the aluminum powder they used for his makeup.
Really?
Yeah, I guess it was just like straight up aluminum, and he had to be hooked up to an iron lung. That's how bad it was. Yeah, he had to leave the set and be hooked up to an iron lung.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the guy that played Jed Clampett.
Oh.
Yep. But he almost died from Wizard of Oz.
Holy cow. Charlie Grapewin, who played Henry, he passed in 1956, just before the film debuted on television. And Clara Blandick, who played Auntie M, ended her life when she was 81.
Wow.
So that's kind of crazy, because usually you're not that old whenever you decide to...
That's crazy. I wonder if she had health complications or something.
Maybe it was just easier for her to...
Yeah, I get that.
Take it.
I had the Wicked Witch, Margaret Hamilton, caught on fire while filming a scene, and then she refused to do any more scenes with pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
I can see where that would be, yeah.
Just avoid the thing that almost killed you. That's a good way to go about it.
Did you also see that her stunt double, also, whenever she got burned, they brought in a stunt double, and the stunt double got the same injuries that she actually received.
Wow. No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That seems to be on the director. That's not an accident if it happens twice.
That's bad.
It's not, yeah.
And then a number of other misfortunes took the set. Several actors who played flying monkeys accidentally broke the wires holding them up and crashed down onto the set.
Wow.
So.
I had one more, and Toto the dog broke a paw on set.
Oh,
probably the saddest
okay?
one. I think so. They just said he broke a paw.
Sure
There was no follow-ups.
He's still alive.
1939?
Sure.
Yeah, he's
living a good life.
I'm sure he's fine.
Oh, animals.
All right. The next one was The Conqueror, which something I'd never heard of. Mm-hmm. Have you?
I heard about the complications that happened, but I didn't really align it to a cursed set. But yeah.
So one of the notes I read said it's one of the worst films ever made, arguably, because John Wayne insisted on playing the role of Genghis Khan.
Not a good. He doesn't look like Genghis Khan.
No, that's one way to put it. He doesn't. He does not look like him. That would not fly today.
What director was like, okay, that's a good idea?
John Wayne was probably just way more powerful than any director. So they're like,
whatever he wanted, he just got.
He just do whatever John Wayne wants to do.
Mistake.
Yep.
Yeah, I have that one too. So the movie was filmed in Utah's Snow Canyon State Park, which was near Nevada's Yucca Flats, where they performed above-ground atomic tests. It's speculated that the cast and crew were exposed to radiation while filming the movie, which caused a slew of cancer diagnoses in the cast.
That's what, I got 93 of the 220 cast and crew developed cancer.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I would say that's not really cursed. That's just bad planning on where to film this stuff.
And they were told it was safe, apparently.
Oh.
It says filming took place close to a nuclear testing site that was deemed safe.
Well, so it was 1956.
Yeah.
So did they really probably didn't know that radiation was bad for people?
Well, especially if you didn't know it was even there.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Well, and whenever you build a set, you're probably moving ground and all the dust goes
Kicking
into
up
the air.
Everything, yep.
Yeah, I've got John Wayne and Susan Hayward, the main stars, were diagnosed with cancer and passed within 4 years of each other. Director Dick Powell passed from cancer less than 7 years after the movie debuted in 1956. Actor Pedro Armendez was diagnosed with terminal cancer in the early 60s, and he took his own life in 1963.
Wow, that wasn't that long after.
No. Well, it was probably, if it was terminal, he probably just didn't want to deal with all the stuff that goes along with that.
That's awful.
Agnes Moorehead passed from cancer a decade later in 1974, and the theory of the site causing all these cancers were dismissed as an urban legend, probably because they didn't want to get sued.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So, don't film any movies where
nuclear activity has taken place.
Bad idea.
Yeah, that's probably a good ground rule.
Yeah. That should be like the number one rule.
No radiation is always the best kind of radiation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the next one we got, Rosemary's Baby. Do you have Rosemary's Baby?
I do, yep.
It was filmed in 1968. Mm-hmm. The film was about a pregnant woman who was, it was kind of alluded that she was impregnated by a satanic cult, and it was directed by Roman Polanski.
Yep.
1 year after filming, Polanski's wife Sharon Tate and their unborn baby were killed by the Manson family. Mm-hmm. She was 8 months pregnant. Everybody knows about that, unfortunately. William Castle, the film director, suffered from gallstones that immediately followed production, eventually requiring a series of treatments and surgeries. Composer Christoph Komeda passed away from an unexpected fall, and Castle later wrote in his memories that it felt like Rosemary's Baby was coming true in real life, and the cast and crew were being stalked by witches.
Yeah, I had that he was admitted to the hospital due to a blood clot also.
Oh.
Before he died. And then, died. Well, mine says that he died from a hematoma. His death was similar to the film's demise. Yep. Crazy.
That sounds better than gallstones.
Yeah.
Put that on his tombstone. Gallstones.
Death was eerily similar to the film's demise of Hutch. Yep. That's crazy. The Manson thing is just weird.
Isn't it? Especially that it has to do with a baby, like that she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And that was their first child of them as a pair.
Right.
Just bad timing.
Yeah.
Bad place to be.
No kidding. That's awful. And then the next one I have is The Exorcist. And The first thing is the entire set from the McNeil home caught fire and burned down.
Yeah.
And then it says the demonic bedroom remained untouched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had that the set burned down, but I didn't hear that that bedroom was untouched.
So Reagan's
weird.
demonic bedroom remained untouched. Everything else burned down, and that one's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, that's weird.
That is weird.
And then while on set, Ellen Burstyn suffered a spinal injury from a stunt gone wrong.
Yeah. Did you watch? So I did some research and watched some stuff on Shudder, and there's a Cursed Films thing on Shudder, and they talk about The Exorcist, and they actually show the scene where she was injured, and they said that the screams, she wasn't acting. Like, whenever she was screaming, that was really her in pain, and they used it because it was really good.
Right.
So that, yeah.
Hard to beat the real thing.
Right.
Ugh.
And then Linda Blair also hurt her back too because some rigging failed. Whenever they were, one of the scenes where she's like flipping up and down on the bed, they pulled her too hard and it hurt her back.
Man.
She's young, too young to have back injuries.
Yeah.
That'll stay with you for the rest of your life.
And then I got 9 deaths are connected to the film, including Jack McGowan, who played Burke Dennings, Linda Blair's grandfather, and a night watchman on set.
Yeah, and I've got Father Kara's mother, Vasilka Malaros.
That's a nightmare.
That's not right. She died of natural causes as well, shortly after the film wrapped. Then I've got the son of Mercedes McCambridge, who voiced the demon. He killed his wife and 2 daughters.
Oh, wow. I
before
didn't see
taking his own life after being accused of fraud in 1987. Various problems plagued The Exorcist upon release. A woman at one screening actually broke her jaw.
How in
and
the world?
Sued Warner Brothers. I don't know. I don't know how you do that. Do you scream too hard and it just pops? I don't know.
I wonder if she was running out of the theater or something.
Maybe
she
and
was...
fell and hit her face.
That's what you always hear about people that went to see it in the theater. Everybody left because it was just too much.
I know that whenever I was young, Mom would not. Whenever I was like 13, I wanted to rent it, and she would not let me rent it.
Wow.
She was like, "It's the scariest movie I've ever seen," and I watched it, and I was like, "Meh."
Yeah,
It's all right.
From the time, it probably was, but yeah, we've been desensitized to all that.
Yeah, but the movie was banned in the UK, actually. And American evangelists believed that running the film through a projector could bring out the demonic possession. So they thought that all the people that watched the movie could be possibly possessed because of all the stuff that they witness.
And then I had one more thing. It was during the film's Rome premiere, lightning struck a 400-year-old cross atop a nearby 16th century church.
Holy cow.
That's a bad omen.
See, okay, so we live in Dayton, Ohio. And there is a church. What is that church called? Still Rock.
I don't know what church you're talking about.
The one with Big Butter Jesus.
Oh, yeah, Still Rock or something like that.
Still Rock Church.
Right on 75.
Yeah, off of 75. It's by Trader's World. And they had a big statue of Jesus called Big Butter Jesus.
Touchdown Jesus also.
Touchdown Jesus.
Yep.
There are many names to this Jesus. Footlong Jesus.
That's what they call him now, yeah.
Yeah. But this statue actually was struck by lightning and burnt to the ground. So they decided it was a good idea to build another one.
Well, the first one was built out of basically steel poles and styrofoam.
Yeah.
So it was basically a giant lightning rod.
Right.
And then they built the new one is all stone slabs.
Yeah. So, but still, I feel like anything up in the air. And if the first one burnt down, that's a hint to you that Jesus does not approve.
Yep. Probably not a good idea to keep doing that.
No.
All right.
The next one I have is The Omen.
Yep, me too.
Okay. So the Omen was 1976. It was a film about a couple raising a child who may be the son of the devil. 2 months after filming started, star Gregory Peck's son ended his own life. Later that year, Peck was flying to London to make another movie, and his plane was struck by lightning.
Yep. Crazy. Instead of a few weeks later, executive producer Mace Newfield was on a plane to Los Angeles that was also struck by lightning.
Yeah, that's...
A lot of lightning strikes going on in these things.
Yeah. I've got Newfield's hotel was later bombed by the IRA.
Holy cow.
And a restaurant was also bombed where a number of the cast and crew were planning to dine.
Dang. I just saw my next note, too, was Harvey Bernhard, who was the producer, also narrowly escaped being struck by lightning while filming in Rome.
What the heck?
These are all kinds of signs to stop filming this movie.
Does it happen more in other countries? Or what?
Apparently there's a lot of lightning in Rome, because that's two things.
That is not good. I've got a tiger handler on the site perished after an incident while a plane hired to do aerial work on the film went down while working on another production, killing everybody on board.
Wow.
8 months after working on the film, special effects consultant and designer John Richardson suffered from injuries in a collision in Holland that killed his assistant, Liz Moore. A road sign by the incident read Omen, spelled O-M-M-E-N, and it's 66.6 kilometers.
What in the world?
Omen is a city in the Netherlands.
That one's weird.
So pretty much don't film outside of the U.S.
Yeah.
Or Netherlands.
Nothing good happens outside there.
No.
I got a plane that was chartered by the film, but switched at the last minute, went down, and shortly after takeoff, killing everyone on board.
What?
Yeah. It doesn't say how many people there were, but...
Holy cow.
That's crazy.
And the last thing I've got is Holland was working on another film, and he bridged too far with a colleague from the set of the Omen stuntman Alf Joint. While performing a really standard stunt, he actually slipped and was hurt badly. Then he told people later that he felt like he had been pushed.
Seems convenient to change your story. Did you have the one about the special effects? John Richardson, who helped the film's infamous decapitation scene, suffered a car accident post-production. While Richardson survived the head-on collision, beheaded Richardson's passenger, assistant Liz Moore. Is that what you talked about? In a manner that was eerily similar to the death scene he helped shoot.
Yeah, so I didn't have that. She was decapitated. It just said that she was killed.
Yeah, decapitated, just like the film they...
That was, where the Omen is.
Yep.
Ugh.
That makes it even weirder.
That is definitely cursed.
Yeah, that one I believe. The rest seemed to be misfortune.
Yeah.
But this one, the 66.6 thing, that's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't read that. That's wild.
Don't drive on any roads with that sign.
Nothing good happens.
Nothing good.
All right. Next one I have is Poltergeist.
Okay.
So there's a lot with this one. The first thing I had was there's a scene where the little boy is being strangled by like a toy clown, and he was actually being strangled.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize it. They thought he was just acting, and he was actually being strangled.
Yeah, they said that he was a good method actor. And then Steven Spielberg actually saved him.
Wow.
Because he started turning blue.
Dang.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I got that far. Wow. That's awful.
And I was watching something else whenever I was doing my research, and I forget what the guy's name is, but he does a lot of like YouTube channels, and he's a collector of horror stuff, and he actually has the original clown. And people are like, why do you have that in your house?
Yeah.
But he's got a ton of like on set stuff, like a bunch of Jason and Michael.
It's like the Warrens collecting like haunted things. Ugh. No thanks.
Nope.
I'm all good on that.
Not for me.
And then another thing I had was probably one of the craziest things. I never realized they did this in film, but apparently at the end there's a scene where they're floating in the pool with skeletons, and they're real skeletons.
Yeah, they got a lot of guff about that, and I guess what's her name? Heather. Yeah, Heather O'Rourke, I guess, was playing with them.
Ooh, and she didn't know?
She didn't know. Nobody knew.
Ugh.
And then it came out that they were real.
I guess you wouldn't expect it unless you were told. Like, you wouldn't just be like, this is a real skeleton.
When you'd think, too, they'd be, like, plasticky or, some kind of different material. But she was a kid. She didn't really...
Right.
If you touched them, you'd probably be like...
Yeah, but if you had, like, news, like, out of a box, like, fake skeletons, you'd probably paint them up to look old and, like, decrepit.
Yeah.
So that's what, you'd think... you wouldn't go in there thinking that they were real.
Yeah.
I also had the house on Haunted Hill and the 1931 Frankenstein also used for real skeletons.
I watched a documentary on the Poltergeist, and the special effects guy and like he who supplies all of this stuff was really angry about how much guff he got about these skeletons, because a lot of movies
just something they do.
Real skeletons, yeah. Yep. So Dominique Dunne, who played Dana in the first movie, was strangled by her boyfriend at the age of 22. She didn't die immediately. She was in a coma, but was later taken off life support and died.
Yeah, that's awful. Obviously, the other one is Heather O'Rourke. And she was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, but she didn't actually have it.
Yeah.
So they were treating her for something she never had. And it turns out she had a birth defect that caused an abscess in her intestines, and it ruptured. She went into toxic shock and passed away when she was 11.
Yeah.
And they had to use a body double to finish filming Poltergeist 3.
I watched an interview with her poor mother. And she said that she woke up and she wasn't feeling very well. And she asked if she had eaten anything. And she said no. And she noticed that her fingertips were turning blue. She called the squad and she died right there.
Wow.
So
that's awful.
Terrible. And I know she said that she went to the viewing of the movie whenever it premiered, and Heather O'Rourke's cheeks got really, really chipmunky because of the disease, and somebody called her fat.
Oh, wow.
She's like, look at that fat kid. And her mom wanted to strangle her.
That's messed up.
Yeah, that is.
People are cruel.
Yep.
Another thing about one of the sequels, Poltergeist 2, Will Sampson, who was an actor on the film, he performed an exorcism on the set because he believed it was cursed. And then when he was 53, he died of kidney failure, which is just 2 years after the movie came out.
So is he a real medicine man? Because that's what he played.
He was some kind of... They said he was a shaman or something like that.
Yeah.
So he believed in all that kind of stuff. So he did, he blessed it just, I guess, after hours when nobody was there.
Wow, I didn't know that. I knew that he had died, but...
He's messing with evil spirits, and they got him.
Julian Beck, who played Henry Kane in Poltergeist 2, passed away in 1985 of stomach cancer at age 60. He'd been diagnosed, though, before he accepted the role. So I don't really think you can count that one.
He looked a lot older than 60.
Yeah, that makeup was good.
Yeah, he looked like he was about 80.
Yeah.
But, let's see. In 1992, actor Richard Lawson, who played Ryan in Poltergeist, survived a plane crash out of LaGuardia in New York that killed 27 of the 51 on board. So that's...
Did you see that he was recognized? So he was in Coach, and he was recognized for his work on the Poltergeist movie, and they moved him to first class.
Whoa.
The person that was in his seat from Coach died. Oh. Yeah.
Wow. That'd be some guilt.
Yeah.
I didn't read that. That's wild. Wow.
Yeah, he was on a talk show talking about it and how, he looked like he was emotionally a mess. How could you not be?
No, yeah, that'd be...
It's like Final Destination stuff right there.
That's one of those things you'd think about
all
every day. Yeah,
for sure.
That's awful. And then I had in 2009, actor Lou Perryman, who played a construction worker in Poltergeist, was axed to death in his home by an ex-convict.
Ooh.
I guess it was like a breaking and entering thing. And
wow.
Yeah, that's awful.
So the curse never gets lifted.
Yeah.
They could come get you at any time.
Yeah, 30 years later, and they...
Yeah.
Oof. Awful. And then the next one is, I had this, the Twilight Zone. There wasn't really that much except for one big thing.
Yeah.
Which was, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so in the Twilight Zone 1983, there was a terrible helicopter accident which occurred when pyrotechnics caused it to crash. Vic Morrow and two young co-stars, Mika and Renee, were in the water with him. The scene was they were going through the water. He was carrying both of them, and they were dodging all of this fire trying to get to the helicopter. Well, they were in the water. The helicopter crashed and smashed one of them and decapitated the other child and decapitated Morrow as well.
Wow.
None of the passengers on the helicopter were killed, but they were all injured. And I was talking about the Shudder documentary. This is one of those, and they have the footage of the copter going down, and
I didn't actually watch it. But.
It's not, you can't see anything, you just see them in the water, see the helicopter, and then they're gone.
Oof.
And it's just I
knowing.
gasp out loud.
Yeah, it makes just knowing
terrible.
What happens. Yep.
It's terrible, but they got in a lot of trouble. They got in some legal trouble because of this, because apparently back in the day you couldn't work children. It might still be like this now, but you couldn't work children past like 8 o'clock at night This scene, they wanted to get it as real as possible, so it was 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And these children were not, like, legitimate actors. They didn't have a pass to be able to do this, so they were under the table, pretty much. So whenever this happened, the family, which was on set and watched their children die, sued, but he was not liable for anything. He got off.
Well, if they agreed to it, it's kind of hard to...
Yeah.
Even though it's a terrible accident.
Right, because he was charged with manslaughter.
The director?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I don't think that that's right. I mean, yes, it was on his set, but nobody would have wanted that to happen.
No, it's not like a...
Things happen.
Right.
And just as terrible as that is, and as a mother, I can't even imagine being there on set and watching it happen and being able to do nothing. So that's the only thing I had on the Twilight Zone too. But it's a biggie. I don't really see how it could be cursed.
No, it just seems like an accident.
But it just seems like bad.
Was it on like a rig that it failed, or was it an actual helicopter that was?
No, it was a
flying?
Huey.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought it was like on a rig or something that failed.
And they had done several tests of it, and they got it perfect, but it was like the helicopter you could see struggling a little bit with it, but then the final night that they did it, it got too close, and it hit the pyro and just crashed. Jeez. So, just terrible.
Yeah, they said, I read too that made a lot of like future films. They had a lot more safety precautions, obviously.
Yeah.
Because of...
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good in the long run. Like, it's terrible that happened, but maybe saved other people in the future.
Well, I guess, like, after doing all this research, I didn't really realize how dangerous filmmaking is. Like, it's really... Like, we watched last night, Jordan and I watched Extraction on Netflix with Chris Hemsworth, and it is one of the bloodiest...
It's intense.
Awesome films I've seen in a long time. It's a Netflix original.
Very Rambo-y.
Very Rambo-y.
Yeah.
And after doing this research, whenever we watched that movie, I was just thinking to myself, like, oh my God, he just got hit by a bus. And you see his body flying. I didn't realize how really dangerous that stuff is.
There's a lot of action stars get, like, dislocated everything. Just from... Yeah, there are a lot of people, like Tom Cruise and stuff, does his own stunts.
Yeah, no.
There's one of the Mission Impossibles, he was doing his own stunts and, like, broke his arm. And they just had to shut down.
Until he healed?
Yeah. That's why they don't like stars doing their stunts. Because if something goes wrong...
you're done.
Yep. They just have to film every scene they're not in.
Wow.
And then, just wait for him to heal.
Just like all the gun stuff. We're going to get into The Crow eventually. But, I mean, just all the amount of gunshots and...
It's a lot that can go wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're working with weapons, even though they're not loaded. They're still working guns.
Yeah.
So a lot can go wrong.
Yep.
It's kind of a miracle not more doesn't go wrong.
That actually brings up another Twilight Zone fun fact, that in one of the scenes he's in the jungle and he's like wading through water and you see all of these trees and leaves and stuff, and he wanted, I forget what the director's name is on that. Do you know what the director's name is on Twilight Zone?
Was it Landis?
Yes.
Was it John Landis?
Yeah, John Landis, yeah. So he wanted the shot to be as real as possible. So he's coming through the thicket of these trees, and there's an army that starts shooting at him. He wanted to use real bullets.
Holy cow.
So they tied him to some sort of thing that they could pull him. So you see him in these trees. He gets pulled, and then real bullets get shot so that it got the real illusion of like the
what in the world?
The trees exploding.
Wow. Have you ever seen A Haunting in Connecticut?
Yeah.
You know, at the very end when like he sets the house on fire, and his sister's like inside, and she's trying to keep he's trying to keep him from coming inside. There's a scene where she is like holding a door closed, and he hits her with an axe, and they actually did that.
No.
Because they wanted her to get like a real reaction. So she the axe is like inches away from her head.
No.
Yeah, I watched a little documentary on that, and so she was just sitting there, knowing an axe was going to come through the door, but not where or when. So, it's wild.
I have a new appreciation for the amount of money the actors make.
Yeah.
This is dangerous.
Especially on, like horror movies and action.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and they put up with a lot.
Definitely.
All right. So The Crow's the next one you got?
That's the next one I got.
Yeah, me too. So the first thing I have for that is one of the film's carpenters got shocked and burned by a scissor lift on set.
Who did?
One of the film's carpenters got shocked and burned by a scissor lift while on set, which isn't really. That could just be faulty equipment.
Yeah.
So that's not very. But
I have, well, obviously, Brandon Lee is Bruce Lee's son. Mm-hmm. 8 days, I'm just going to jump right into the big shebang. Okay. So 8 days into the scheduled wrap of production, Brandon died after being shot in the stomach by a metal tip from a dummy bullet that became lodged in a prop gun. So I know I'm referencing this documentary a lot on Shudder. They do not sponsor us, but Shudder, if you would like to sponsor us,
yeah, it was a really well done.
Shoot me an email because we accept.
We are available for.
But they explained how it could happen. So it gets lodged in there, and he shot the gun and shot it on like a wood panel, and it ripped it apart.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because he got shot in the belly, so you think, just not being ever shot. I'm like, you could be okay.
Right.
But it was a hole.
They say that's one of the worst places you can get shot because it just rips your intestines and
it's painfully slow.
Yeah, there's a lot of internal bleeding that goes on.
Yep. So then this isn't kind of maybe so much about the movie, but more about Bruce Lee. So Bruce Lee died at the age of 32 from an acute cerebral edema. Basically, they thought he had an allergic reaction to some medicine that he was taking. He always described seeing a ghost looking like a black shadow that was following him. Some believe that there's a curse on all the Lee men.
I've read that also, yep.
When Bruce Lee's father died, Bruce had a premonition that he would only live to half of his dad's age, which was 32. Some speculate that the Lees were targets of the mafia.
Yeah.
Some think that he was hit by a dim mak strike, which is similar to the 5-point palm exploding heart technique shown in the Kill Bill movies. Supposedly that dim mak strike could hit you in 5 minutes, could hit you in a month, could hit you in years. So I don't know how. Yeah,
there's a lot of conspiracies that go around with Bruce Lee.
Apparently there's a movie, I haven't watched it, of the Lees. Like the curse of the Lees and how everything plays out.
Was that his only son?
I believe so.
Wow. Does he have any daughters or anything?
I don't think so. I think that was his only
Just
kid.
his only. Wow, that's awful.
Yeah.
I had a few more small things. A stuntman fell through a roof in between takes.
Oh.
Yeah, not good. A crew member accidentally stabbed his own hand with a screwdriver. This film just seems to be a lot of crew members that don't know what they're doing. A grip truck unexpectedly went up into flames on set. And a disgruntled carpenter plowed through a plaster shop.
What?
On set. So it's...
Whoa.
I feel like the whole thing was just doomed from the start. Like, from who they hired, everybody was just hurting themselves.
And how bad do you have to feel? I don't know the actor's name, but the one that shot him. Mm-hmm. Because even though it wasn't his fault at all, you gotta blame yourself for that.
Well, that's... The people that do the special effects and, like, the guns and stuff should be the ones in trouble. Because the actor just gets handed something and it was like, do this.
Yeah.
And he did it, and then...
And this is... Whenever they explained, I can't tell you technically how it happens.
Right. But
one of the rounds essentially gets stuck, and then they put another one in, and the powder from that can create a impact to shoot this bullet out.
Right.
So
just all the gas and
they
stuff.
They just didn't check to see if there was anything in the chamber.
And why would you, really? I mean...
Yeah, because you wouldn't...
I don't know. Really, anything that gets dropped down the barrel of a gun becomes a bullet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just gets forced out, even if there's nothing...
Yeah, I mean, it was a little itty-bitty thing, but with the projectile of it really went through that wood and caused a big hole out the back.
Yeah. Oof. That's awful.
Rough.
All right. What's the next one you got? Passion of the Christ, me too.
Well, I gotta... Yeah, we'll just do that. Jord went in chronological order. I didn't. And I think he's got a couple that I don't have, and I have a couple that he doesn't have. So we'll just go through your list, and I'll just...
Okay. Yeah, the next one I have is Passion of the Christ. And the first thing I have is Jim Caviezel was struck by lightning while filming, and he played Christ.
Yeah.
So that's a little...
And witnesses report that they saw smoke rising from his head
Holy
after
cow.
he was struck.
That's insane. And I just have one more thing for that one, and it's the director Jan Michelini was struck by lightning twice.
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem like a coincidence.
There's a lot of these lightning strikes. I feel like whenever lightning doesn't strike twice, but apparently it does.
When you're Jan Michelini, it does.
It does.
On you.
Yes.
That's terrible, terrible luck.
Terrible. And it's so, same with Jesus. I mean, does lightning strike really happen that often? I just feel like we're talking about it a lot.
There's been, this is the most I've read about lightning my entire life.
I didn't even know this was a thing. I'm now afraid.
It's a lot of signs.
Yeah.
Coming down.
I get it.
He only knows one way to send a sign, and it's through lightning.
So back to Jim Caviezel. Also, if being struck by lightning and smoke coming out of your head not enough. Mm-hmm. He dislocated his shoulder while carrying the crucifix, and he had a portion of his flesh ripped off while being fake whipped.
Dang.
John Deberney, who wrote the score, called the job the most difficult assignment of his life and claims he closely felt the presence of Satan while working in his studio on the film. Carl Anderson, who played Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar, passed following a fight with leukemia on opening day of Passion of the Christ, which was in 2004. Peggy Scott, advertising sales manager, passed after suffering heart failure during the film's brutal crucifixion scene.
Wow.
I went to the theaters to see this movie.
Did you really?
I did.
I've never seen it.
I am not a religious person, but this movie was very emotional.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I'm not a religious person, but I tell you what, it was rough.
Wasn't it directed by Mel Gibson?
Yeah. And he's crazy.
Yeah. So it was good?
I mean, it was... I don't remember.
Like, would you watch it again?
2004.
Something
So I've watched a lot of stuff since then.
Fair enough.
But, I mean, I thought it was good.
Huh.
It's emotional. Have a box of tissues ready, but I'm a crier. So, I don't know. And seeing anybody tortured is not good.
Or, yeah, that's understandable. That's just empathy.
Yeah.
101.
Yeah.
All right. The next one I have is The Conjuring.
I do not have this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This one, there wasn't really that much. Obviously it's about the Warrens and hauntings they dealt with. And the first thing I have is phone calls between the screenwriters and Lorraine Warren always suffered static and often went dead. They just lost the connection. When members of the real-life Perrin family visited set, they were met by a gust of fierce wind. And it said anywhere they went, the wind followed them.
No lightning, though.
No lightning. So it might not be a curse. Just really windy.
Really?
That's what, it didn't seem that weird when I just read the first gust of wind.
Yeah.
But then they said everywhere they went, it was like windy. So that's kind of weird. And they said it was like calm before they showed up.
Yeah.
And then they showed up and it was like super windy. So that's a little strange. The next thing, they were bullied by wind. Carolyn, who was the mother, felt a presence back home. And then she suffered a bad fall. I don't think she had any injuries, but she fell. Shortly thereafter, the cast and crew had to evacuate their hotel due to a fire. When working late one night, James Wan, the director, his dog wouldn't stop growling at nothing. So that's a little creepy.
You have a dog.
I do.
She's crying right now.
She is crying. And then...
we're cursed.
There's lightning. I'm out of here.
Cursed podcast.
Lead actress Via Farmiga, I think that's how you say her name?
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, she is good. Her laptop one night was mysteriously slashed with 5 claw marks.
What?
Yeah. So
like
she just...
the screen?
Yeah. So she came back to her computer and it just had claw marks in it.
Never.
That's terrifying. That one's weird.
Yeah.
That could have also been another dog. Just running across her laptop.
Yeah.
But it would definitely make you uneasy.
I would say, yeah.
Especially, and the growling dog at night. If you're writing something terrifying.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your dog starts growling.
I always think, whenever I think about dogs that are scary, I always think of that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark with the licking. You remember that? So somebody's laying in bed, this girl, and to get comfort, whenever she gets scared, she puts her hand down, and her dog licks her hand, and then she wakes up in the morning, and her dog's dead, and it says, humans like to lick too.
Ew.
I'd just be out of there.
Was that a movie or like a show?
No.
Or is it a book?
It's a book.
I don't read.
No, you don't read. I'm surprised you're reading right now on this podcast.
I know, it's not going well, but...
You're doing good.
It's the most I've read in a while.
Yeah.
My brain hurts.
You don't have to do it anymore till next week.
Yeah, true.
So that's good.
All right, what's the next one you have?
You can go ahead and
All right,
finish, because they kind of go together.
Okay, the last one I have is Annabelle, which is kind of a spin-off of The Conjuring. While filming, director John Leonetti discovered a three-finger marking clawed across a dusty window set. Eerily, the film's demon also had just 3 fingers.
Don't birds?
They don't have any fingers.
What do you mean? What do you mean? They got paws.
They got claws.
3 claws.
Talons.
3 talons.
I don't think that's true.
It's probably a bird.
What about What about birds' hands?
You're not selling me on this.
On the day the film's demon went into full makeup, a crew member suffered an injury. Didn't say what kind of injury. So it could have been a paper cut. Who knows? While on set, a lighting fixture abruptly fell and struck an actor's head. The same actor played a handyman in the film who was killed by the demon in that same hallway. The accident took place. So that's a little weird. Coincidental. And then the film is inspired by an actual old doll believed to be possessed by evil spirits. The real-life Annabelle lives in Lorraine and Ed Warren's occult museum, which is in the film. It's stored safely inside of a glass case with a sign to visitors to leave the door locked. A priest visits the museum and blesses the doll regularly.
That's crazy.
That is. I don't know why. I would love
to go there. Not to do it, I don't want to take no pictures. I don't want to touch it. I just want to look at it.
It's in Maine. It's somewhere on the East Coast. Right? Connecticut. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It'd be a good road trip. I'm down for that.
Let's do it. Then we need a portable mic, and we could podcast in the car.
That'd be very noisy.
Woo-hoo. Coming soon.
That'd be cool to do video on it.
Yeah, it would be.
That'd be sweet.
We gotta figure out how to do videos. Good.
Trying my best here.
So Annabelle, I saw that in the theater, and it was right whenever I moved into my house. And my house has a basement with wooden cement stairs that are creepy.
It's very creepy down there.
It's just like whenever she's running from that beast thing, and it goes up the stairs and goes quick. So Josh was working 3rd shift during that time, and I was scared to death.
Just being in there?
Just being in the house, because I get hungry and I needed a snack. And my kitchen is right near my stairs to the basement.
Doesn't have a lock on it?
And we had a freezer down there, and I wanted some pizza rolls, like you do.
I get it.
And I looked downstairs, I was like,
I don't want pizza rolls that bad.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I could use something else.
No thanks. So.
I don't think we've actually seen that one. The whole concept just seemed dumb to me. The Annabelle concept.
It's real. What do you mean?
I don't think so.
It's a true story.
A true story about a doll.
Yeah.
That's just in the world.
It kills people.
We'll see. I don't think so.
You need to look up Annabelle.
I've seen it. I know what it is.
No, the weird stuff that happens around her.
Sounds like some reading. I want to do that.
Somebody mocked her and rode a motorcycle and died on the motorcycle on the way out.
I feel like that's just motorcycle stuff.
Coincidence or cursed?
Coincidence, I think.
No. Maybe he's just a bad driver. I don't know. All right, so I had a couple more that we can talk about. I had Rebel Without a Cause. This is back in 1955. It's a James Dean movie. He died while racing his Porsche Spyder before the film released at 24. So Natalie Wood is his co-star in this film, and I got some, I don't know. I don't really think this links to Rebel Without a Cause, but it's weird. And it actually is a curse from another movie. So, Natalie Wood, Dean's co-star, drowned in November 1981. Her husband, Robert Wagner, and friend Christopher Walken had gone to Catalina Island for a weekend and were staying on a yacht. It's thought that Wood awoke at some point during the night and attempted to get off the boat, causing her to trip, fall, and drown.
Wow.
Her body was found floating face down nearby, and she was only wearing a jacket, nightgown, and socks. A witness, after this all comes out, a witness surprisingly comes out and says, I think I heard her say help.
And just didn't do anything about it?
Yeah, well, they were on another boat. What are you going to do?
Swim.
I guess if you're a good person.
What do you mean? What are you gonna do?
If you're in another yacht, you're like, not my problem.
Yeah, I got yacht stuff to do.
So.
That's awful.
Yeah. I bet they feel really bad.
Yeah, like I guess she would have helped.
Yeah, but they blamed it. Well, nobody on the boat helped her, obviously. The incident was deemed an accidental drowning, but many believe that he killed her and threw her off the boat.
Huh.
And so they were so Natalie Wood and Christopher Walken were in a movie called Brainstorm. And they think that movie is also cursed because of all this stuff. So, my Christopher Walken, he would never do nothing like that.
You just need some cowbell.
Right. Champagne.
Champagne.
Sal...
That sphincter says what? Oh, man.
Sal Mineo passed 5 years after Wood, after being stabbed in an alley in West Hollywood, and he was only 37. Beverly Hills orthopedic surgeon Troy McHenry fitted his car with the car parts from the Spider that Dean passed away in, and a year later he perished when that Porsche hit a tree.
Wow. That's a little weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to do that. Why would you want to do that? I get taking the car and, like, restoring it to its glory and then just keeping it in a garage for people to look at.
Right.
But not stripping it and taking the parts and putting it in your own car you're going to drive.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the car's fault.
It's cursed.
He didn't think so, obviously.
Obviously, and he was wrong.
Yeah, he was very cursed. Mistakes were made.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't put him in right. I don't know. Superman, the Superman movies. Christopher Reeves, who played in Superman, the movie, and the 3 sequels, were paralyzed from the neck down after being thrown from a horse in 1995. And he passed away in 2004 due to heart failure stemming from his medical condition. Margaret Kidder, who played Lois Lane, suffered from mental illness in 1996 and was found dazed and filthy wandering the streets of Los Angeles. I don't really feel like that's a curse. That's just
she dirty.
Drugs.
She dirty, yeah.
That's what, yeah. Dirty and dazed.
She dirty.
Richard Pryor, who appeared in Spider-Man's better than Superman.
True.
But Superman 3 passed from multiple sclerosis only a few years later.
I did not know he was in a Superman movie.
I didn't either.
That's weird.
I haven't seen any of the Superman movies,
not
to be honest. Not the old ones, no.
No.
And the other one was not that good. I wish I wouldn't have
seen it. Is
that
on your list? Brandon Roth just sucks at acting?
No. But I agree.
He's terrible.
He was in, what's that movie?
Zack
Scott
and Mary.
Pilgrim.
He was in Zack and Mary also.
Was he?
He was, what's his name? Randy.
Oh,
Brandon St. Randy's boyfriend.
Best role. He should have
Yeah,
won.
he should have
won something for that.
He was in Scott Pilgrim too, wasn't he? He was one of the boyfriends.
He was perfect role for him.
Yeah, he plays a dick very well.
Yeah.
Not Superman though.
I feel like he's probably like that in real life.
Yeah, probably thinks he's the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not true. The Superman series was dubbed the Superman Curse. George Reeves, is he related to Christopher Reeves? He played the Man of Steel in the 50s TV show.
I don't know.
I don't know if they're related.
I don't either.
Is that a coincidence or a curse? The Reeves name. He passed at age 45 in 1959. The official findings were that he ended his own life, but some think he might have been killed.
1959 forensic work. He might have died and he might have been killed. Our job is done.
Brando, Martin Sheen, Dennis Hopper. The shoot has been called Hell on Earth. I've never seen this movie. Have you ever seen it?
I've heard Marlon Brando was like, he didn't want to be in it.
He was really fat, I guess, and couldn't do what he needed to do.
Right.
Francis Ford Coppola said, "Little by little we went insane." There's a documentary called Heart of Darkness, which is famously dubbed better than the actual movie.
That's hilarious. Did you know that Nicolas Cage is a Coppola?
No. Mm-hmm. He's crazy.
Cage is like an actor name.
A surname.
Yeah. But he's Nicolas Coppola.
How are they related?
I think it's his grandson. Or son. I think it's grandson. But
He used
fun
to
fact.
be good, remember? Like Con Air? That was a
Yeah, but no, not really. I mean, the movie was good. He was not good.
Are you kidding?
He had that terrible Southern accent. You remember?
I love that accent.
He was like, it was awful.
No.
And then his long hair just, ugh.
He was a good man.
I mean, he's okay, but the accent was not good. He's not a very good actor.
Get
he's
over
just
yourself.
crazy.
I love him.
Oh.
Back then. Martin Sheen stepped in to take the part of, I don't know who he stepped in to take the part of. I don't know. But anyway, he stepped in to take part. And his alcoholism spiraled out of control. The opening sequence in the film where Sheen had a drug-induced breakdown was not staged. He was actually losing it.
Wow.
Sheen suffered a heart attack during the film, and he told his friends he thought he would perish during the making of the movie. I did not know Martin Sheen was as crazy as Charlie Sheen.
It all makes sense.
Emilio, no wonder you changed your name.
Yeah,
I love you.
I ain't crazy.
The Mighty Duck Man.
I'm trying to be a coach. I'm trying to coach some kids hockey. That's all I want to do.
Coppola had a seizure induced by stress and blaming himself for Sheen's heart attack. Drugs, and more drugs. Dennis Hopper demanded cocaine as part of his payment for making the movie. Which I can't see that. He's in Speed. Dennis Hopper I associate with Speed.
He does Speed.
He does Speed and he's in Speed.
That's all. He didn't read the script. He's like, Speed, I'm in.
Do I get that as payment?
Yeah, he's like, I'll take it.
Sam Bottoms was taking speed and LSD the entire time. Crew used real bodies rather than dummies in some scenes. There were monsoons that destroyed the set that took months to build and months to rebuild. Helicopters would zip away to fight guerrilla military groups in the middle of the night. Tigers roamed the set, and crew was stricken with a variety of tropical diseases. I don't know where exactly it was filmed.
I think it takes place. It's like a Vietnam movie, so I think it's actually they filmed it over there somewhere.
Okay. Could you imagine?
No.
It's like Tiger King. This is like Tiger King. Tiger King. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiger King. It sounded weird when I said it. Anyways. Sam Bottoms and Dennis Hopper passed away within 2 years of one another. Sam Bottoms had a brain tumor, and Dennis Hopper passed away from cancer. I didn't know he was dead.
Dennis Hopper's dead?
Yeah. That's what it
I didn't
says.
know that either. Huh.
Yeah. I don't know when, though. It wasn't, obviously, in 1979, because
Right.
Speed, his masterpiece, was way after that.
Is he in Speed 2?
No, that was Willem Dafoe.
That was the boat one, right?
Yeah.
The bad one.
Still good. I still like it.
Is there Speed 3?
No, but there should be.
Yeah.
I'd
Back on
sign
the
up
bus.
for that. Back on the bus. Oh, Keanu, please listen to us and make it.
But it's a school bus this time.
Make it happen. No.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Children.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it.
His life took a turn. Now he's a school bus driver.
I don't want
And
that.
there's a bomb on the bus.
What are you going to do, Jack? What do you do?
I mean, if a school bus would go 60 miles an hour.
Probably not. It'd have to be, you'd have to go under
Yeah.
30 miles an hour or something like that. So the shoot had been called, I already said that, Hell on Earth. So, yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to watch it.
I think
Just
it's
to
on
see what it's all about.
Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. But yeah, there's a lot of stars, and I'm surprised I thought it was like a good, like renowned as a good movie. But
That's what I thought.
apparently
Maybe it's
not.
just renowned because it's so bad.
Maybe.
I want to watch the documentary first. Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, I watched the Marlon Brando documentary though, and they said he was just like,
Terrible.
well, they said he would like get to the point in his career where he wouldn't even like read the lines. So they just film him and he would just say stuff. Like there'd be like a script and like parts for him, and he just like would do his own thing. Wouldn't even look at it.
I hope to one day get to his caliber of people.
He went kind of crazy.
Yeah.
They did this thing though where they can like, they have his voice. He like did so many movies obviously that they can make him say anything. So it's like
they just piece it all together.
yeah, there's like this. It's like a virtual thing, and then it like has him saying stuff in this movie. It's really cool. I forget what the documentary's called, but it's really good. I recommend it.
The last movie I researched was called A Took. Have you ever heard of this?
No, I haven't.
It was never made.
So that's why I haven't heard of it. Makes sense.
Yeah. It was so cursed it was never made. The screenplay was a novel about a Eskimo who moves to New York City.
Sounds riveting.
Yeah. I would watch it.
Yeah.
Most major actors attached to this project have passed away, which is why it's never been made. Because eventually they're just like, okay. They got the hint, unlike the Jesus people.
Yeah. Did they get struck by lightning? All of them?
No.
That would be crazy.
That would be. John Belushi agreed to play in this film, but then he passed a few months later after agreeing. Sam Kinison signed to play the lead in 1988 and even filmed a few scenes, but production fell apart due to disagreements. He passed not long after that from a car accident.
I could not imagine trying to direct him. Have you ever just, like, watched his stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't think that was an act. I think that was just how he was.
Yeah. 1994, John Candy was attached to the film, but passed away from a heart attack.
That's 3 of the best, like, comedians ever.
There's more.
Wow.
A few months later, Michael O'Donoghue, a friend of Candy's who went over the script with him, passed away from a cerebral hemorrhage.
Dang.
Chris Farley
Oh, my God.
was cast, and he passed away from a heart attack. And then Phil Hartman.
That's insane.
He was interested in the script, and then his wife killed him.
Oh, my God. That's insane amount of... Those people are, like, top tier of all time.
If you had a list, if you were a comic on SNL, and they're like, here, you want to do this?
Right.
And then you're like, oh, what's it about? Oh, well, yeah, an Eskimo, but all these people died. Who was going to play it?
Well, I'm good.
Yeah, no, not for me.
Well, they're all... Well, I guess not all. John Belushi and Chris Farley were drugs, but the other ones were...
Yeah.
Phil Hartman was the worst one.
I know.
That's terrible.
I know. John Candy, too. I love John Candy.
How did he die? Heart attack?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He wasn't very old either, was he?
I don't think so, no. None of them were.
No.
Really. So it's sad.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of that. So it was a comedy, obviously.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. About an Eskimo.
That's what a weird premise.
Who knew how dark Eskimos could be?
Maybe it was all SNL people because it took place in New York City. So they're just like, they're here anyway. So it's...
Probably.
Man, that's awful.
Yeah. I've got some honorable mentions. You can look these up, and there wasn't a ton of stuff about them, so I just kind of want to mention their names. The House of the Devil, The Innkeepers.
I read about that one,
which was the follow-up to The House of the Devil. It was the same director. And apparently, I just know a little bit about it. The Innkeepers was filmed in an actual haunted hotel.
Yeah, that's somewhere on the East Coast as well, I believe. And yeah, it's like a super haunted place for like a bunch of like ghost hunters and ghost adventures and stuff go there.
And apparently they shot a lot of it in the suite because it was big enough to put a dolly in there to run the camera. And that was like the most haunted room. But the whole town thinks that it's haunted.
I've never actually seen it.
Me neither. Fitzcarraldo. I know very little about that. Roar, which was a film about like wild animals. And Tower Heist, the one with Ben Stiller.
Really?
Yeah. And Quantum of Solace.
James Bond movie?
Yeah.
Huh.
Daniel Craig.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's all the ones that I had. So what do you think? Cursed movies are real or just super bad luck?
I got a few takeaways. Lightning will get you. If you're on any cursed movie.
Oh, definitely.
That's the number one. I don't know. Most of it seems to be faulty equipment or just the crew is bad.
Yeah.
Because most of the stuff was just, I don't know, just seemed to be stuff that went wrong.
And I thought maybe it would be because they were all older films, most of them, and they didn't have the knowledge or all of the safety restrictions that we have now. But still, like the Tower Heist and Quantum of Solace, those are fairly new. But I don't know. Some of it, I think, is coincidental.
It is strange, though, that there's no... Except for, like, Tower Heist is a comedy, I guess, and that It Took movie's a comedy. But other than that, most of these were horror films. So that's kind of weird.
Like The Devil.
Yeah. Like The Omen is... I don't know. It's just weird that none of this has happened with, fun, like, happy-go-lucky movies.
Well, I heard that it was from a witch or somebody claiming to be a witch, that the devil doesn't try to stop production of things because it wants its name out there. So the Omen, they didn't think it was a curse. They thought it was a blessing about a lot of stuff happening because it just worked out in a good way.
Wow.
Because the devil doesn't want to... he wants to be known.
Right.
And that's a way. If he stopped production,
then it shuts it
down.
Makes
sense. Yeah. So from that aspect, it kind of makes sense, especially because every single person that was on the Omen, whenever they're asked, do you think that this film was cursed? They said, no, I think it's a blessing.
Oh, that's weird.
But then on the Poltergeist side of things, the whole being cursed by those bones, that makes more sense because it's it's not Satan. It's
right. It's weird too that movie is about, like, I don't know, the skeletons, and that's what ended up cursing it.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie's kind of built around they didn't move the bodies from the graves, and now that's what kind of doomed it. Mm-hmm. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems to be mostly people. Just bad, like something went wrong with the people.
Yeah. Yeah, like the whole Conqueror movie.
Yeah, that was full of bad decisions.
I don't think that was a curse. I just think they were idiots.
Yeah, that was.
And it might have just been because they didn't know any better. But a lot of people died.
Right. Well, that's another thing. You wouldn't look into it unless you were... Somebody said there's like nuclear stuff in this area. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think, I'm going to some random location. I'm not going to see if there's radiation.
Yeah.
So that's...
Sad part is, like, his son died, too.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
He visited John Wayne on the set, and he ended up getting cancer.
How did John Wayne die? Do you know?
Cancer.
Did he?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. He diagnosed with cancer and died within 4 years of Susan Hayward. Yeah, I don't know what kind, but...
Wow.
Yeah. Cancer's a tough one.
Yeah.
So.
But, got anything else to add?
Nope, we can just go over again the platforms that we're on. You can shoot us an email at mysteryhistorypod@gmail.com. Any kind of ideas on what you would like us to cover.
Yep.
We'll take them. I'd like to do Chernobyl at some point.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't know if that'll be next week or when, but that's on our list.
Yeah, get to that.
Facebook and Instagram at Mystery History Podcast. Twitter at Mystery Histories. That's just history with an S on the end.
Yep.
We're available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and we are going to be on Google Podcast after they approve us, which should be in a day or two.
Right.
So.
And Stitcher and Podbean if you're on those platforms.
Yeah. So we also, that Facebook page, please like us. Mm-hmm. Please rate, review. We want to know how we're doing, what you'd like to see different, what you like, what you don't like, topics, anything. We really want to
build a community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any kind of, liking or sharing just to get the word out there, and we'll continue to shout out people that do so.
Absolutely.
And,
So thanks again, Alex and Amanda.
Yep.
Especially on Instagram, because that's tough to share that stuff sometimes. So, okay. Well, we really appreciate all you, and we will see you next week.
All right.